How many games will the Pittsburgh Steelers win in 2023? What's going on, guys and Steelers fans? It's Emmanuel Jones back here with another NFL record prediction, and this time we'll be doing our record prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the 2023 NFL season. Give you my game analysis, my thoughts to see which games I think the Steelers will win and see which games I think the Steelers will lose. So before I give you my record prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 2023 NFL season, don't forget to put the thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and don't forget to comment down in the opinion below to see who you think's gonna how good you think the Steelers are gonna be. Do you think they're gonna be good this year? Do you think they're gonna make the playoffs? Do you think they're gonna win the division, or you think they're gonna miss out in the playoffs again? Let me know in the comment section below what you think. So let's go. Now the Pittsburgh Steelers had a 9-8 surprising record thanks to Mike Tomlin. Now, the plan is for Pittsburgh to at least maybe get 10 wins, maybe another win in the season, double digits. Like, who knows? Who knows? Can the Steelers do it again? But week 1, they have to play at home versus a tough opponent against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is a game that can definitely go either way. Now, some people are kind of really picking the Steelers to win because they have the quarterback advantage, and the Niners have questions at quarterback. Like, we don't even know who's going to be playing quarterback, right? It's going to be Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, or Trey Lance. That's a tough one because usually I don't really trust young quarterbacks on the road against a good defense. But both these two teams both have a good defense, but their offenses are really good. But I like to say San Francisco offense is better. But I think this game is going to be an ugly game. I think it will be a close game. But even though the game's in Pittsburgh, I don't think it matters, though, because sometimes the Steelers are not good at home against tough opponents. So I'm going to go with the 49ers here to win this game, because the reason why I'm taking the 49ers to win this game is because I just think they're the more complete team. And another reason why that I think San Francisco will win is because of their defensive line versus the new improved Steelers offensive line. So I don't think Pittsburgh – I just kind of feel like San Francisco is a bad matchup for the Steelers because San Francisco has a really good front four. They can get after the quarterback, and they can stop the run really good. Because Steelers, they can't really run the ball really well. And plus, their offensive line is putrid. So I think San Francisco's defensive line can take advantage of that. Then their secondary is pretty solid. I think they can do a good job, like matching up well with the Steelers' pass-catching group. So, yeah. So I don't think the Niners are going to lose the opener, though, like they did to Amon Su. Maybe Pittsburgh might have won Amon Su. Who knows? But I think this is a game I think San Francisco needs to win because they're just a more complete team. And I like their offense. Their offense is better. And they're better at running the football as well. And I think they can do enough offensively, to like control their pass rush. And then I don't think they're going to have an answer for Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk. So, yeah. So, I think the Niners, Brock Purdy could be out. So, maybe Sam Darnold or Trey Lance might start. Like, who knows? But I still think the Niners are going to win this game, but it will be close. So, week 2, they have to play at home against the Cleveland Browns Monday Night Football. I think they pick up their first win of the season against the Cleveland Browns. Now, why? Because I just kind of feel like Pittsburgh matches up well with the Browns pretty good on paper. They have owned the Browns. They have a good defensive, and I feel like, their defensive line is going to give Watson some fits, and that offensive line some fits. And I think they can do a good job slowing down the run. And I think they can do a good job, defending the pass against the Browns receivers. Their pass-catching group. So, yeah. So, I think the Steelers win. So, they're 1-1 right now. Now, next game, week 3, they have to play on the road against Las Vegas Raiders Sunday Night Football. Now, this is a game that can definitely go either way. It's going to be fun to watch, but I think it can go either way because here's the thing. Now, it's weird to say that the Steelers have a better defense than the Raiders, but the Raiders' defense is putrid. I mean, the Raiders' defense isn't very good, so maybe there's a chance that the Steelers can move the football against them. Because some people are picking Pittsburgh to win this game because the Raiders' defense isn't good and Pittsburgh's offense can do enough to move the ball against the Raiders' defense, and young quarterbacks are good at doing that, which I get it though. But I think the Raiders, they have a good offensive line and defensive line as well. Their defensive line is good, but their secondary is sketchy. If this game is in Pittsburgh, I think the Steelers will win, but I think it will be closer though than expected. But since it's in Las Vegas, I'm gonna go with the Raiders here to win this game because even though I think Pittsburgh is a more complete team than the Raiders, I think the Raiders are going to pull off an upset. But I think the Raiders, just for the giggles and means, I'm just picking the Raiders because I just kind of really feel like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have a big day here. He's going to make some big plays. And on top of that, they have a good offensive line that can really control their pass rush. And I feel like they can find a way that they can block their front seven, block their defensive line. I think they can do enough on, I feel like Jimmy G can do enough to throw the ball in the air against their secondary. So yeah, and I feel like that their defensive line with the pass rush they have is Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, Tyree Wilson. I think their pass rushers is going to give the Steelers offensive line Kenny Pickett some fifth. And also, the Raiders are better at running the football. Now, we understand Josh McDaniels had good success against the Steelers throughout the years, though. But I think this is a game I think the Raiders should win this game. And I think, this is a game I think Devontae Adams can definitely have a breakout. So, yeah. I think this game right here is going to be close, and it will be competitive, though. And I think it's going to be a low-scoring game like last time because I think the Raiders kind of do want revenge from last time. So I think the Raiders find a way to win that game at home. Next game, so they're 1-2 right now. So next game they have to play versus the Houston Texans. Actually, I got the Steelers win this game here because I still think the Texans are still one of the worst teams in the league, despite having C.J. Stroud. Now, I don't really trust a rookie quarterback, especially against that good of a defense. Yeah, I mean, the Steelers, they should be able to do enough defensively to confuse a rookie quarterback. And then, Texans don't really have that much on defense, though. So I think the Steelers can do enough offensively to move the ball against them. And on top of that, Houston will be dealing with learning curve due to a new coach and new quarterback and all that and new culture. So, yeah. And also, Pittsburgh is just a more complete team. They have the better quarterback, better coaching staff. So, yeah. So that's why I think the Steelers win. So, they're 2-2 right now. Next game, they have to play at home versus the Baltimore Ravens. I actually got them winning the first game against the Baltimore Ravens because, the Steelers just always play the Ravens tough. Don't get me wrong. They always do because they have owned the Ravens for years because they play the Ravens tough almost every year. So, yeah, that's why I think, they just win this game. So they're 3-2 heading towards the bye. So they get a bye week 6, which means they have extra time to prepare, extra time to rest, because, their players are hurt. They have extra time to rest because it's the bye week, so they'll have more time to prepare. So after the bye, next game, they have to play against the LA Rams on the road. Now, I understand this game's in LA, and that's a game where I think the Rams can definitely pull off an upset, though, because the Rams are kind of really good at pulling up upsets when they're not a good team because here's the thing. Now, I know they have Matthew Stafford, but I don't really know how healthy he's going to be. So we don't know if he's going to play this year, so that could be questionable. Even if this game's in LA, I don't think it matters, though. I think the Steelers are going to win this game here on the road in LA. I know LA is a tough place to play at, but I'm taking the Steelers to win this game because I just think Pittsburgh is just a more complete team. So, yeah, I just think they're a more complete team. And on top of that, the Rams are kind of like a rebuilding team right now. I don't think they're going to be very good. I mean, their offensive line is not really good. The defensive line, outside Aaron Donald isn't great. They don't really have that much talent on defense and that much talent on offense. So yeah. And I also said this multiple times. Any team that the Rams play who has a good defensive line, they struggle against. So I think the Steelers' defensive line can have success, like getting pressure on the quarterback, stopping the run, force them into mistakes. And then I think their secondary can handle business against the Rams, pass catching group because they don't really have, because outside of Cooper Kupp, they may not have anybody else. So yeah, Allen Robinson, this could be the Allen Robinson revenge game. So he's playing against his old team, so that's going to be fun to watch. So yeah. So I think the Steelers can do enough offensively to move the ball against them. So yeah. So I don't think the Rams will have an answer for Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, and Pat Freiermuth and Allen Robinson. Those guys are going to be too much for the Rams secondary to handle because Rams don't really have any corners or safeties that can cover. So yeah, but I wouldn't be shocked they kept this game close. But I think they will keep it a little bit closer. So I think the Steelers find a way to win that game. So yeah, so they're 4-2 right now. Next game they have to play, Week 8 they have to play versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a game that can go either way, but some people are picking Jacksonville to win because they think that Jacksonville could be a better team than the Steelers. But I don't really know because Jacksonville is going to be a sneaky team this year, and I kind of feel like they can match up well with Pittsburgh really good. I mean, if this game was in Jacksonville, I might roll with the Jaguars here. But given that this game is in Pittsburgh, I'm taking the Steelers to win this game because I just kind of really feel like that this. I just kind of have a feeling that the Steelers are going to win this game because I just have a feeling that Pittsburgh can do enough, on defense to at least like give the Jaguars offensive line some fits because their Jaguars offensive line is pretty young and it has rookies. So I think this defensive line is going to get some pressure and get the Jags offensive line and Trevor Lawrence some fits. And I think they have a good enough secondary that I think they can find a way to defend their passing game and to defend their receivers of Jacksonville. So, yeah. And I think Kenny Pickett can do enough to, move the ball and I feel like the Steelers' offense and Kenny Pickett can do enough, to move the ball through the air against that young Jaguars secondary. So, yeah. So I think this game is going to be a lot closer than we expected, but I think the Steelers find a way to win this game. So they're 5-2 right now, looking pretty solid here on a 4-game winning streak. The next game, Week 9, they have to play against the Tennessee Titans. Now, this is actually on a short week. So, obviously, I think this game right here is going to be fun to watch. It could definitely go either way. If this game was definitely in Tennessee, I might lean towards the Titans here. But given that Tennessee's coming to town, I am going with the Steelers to win this game because I just kind of have a feeling that Pittsburgh, I just don't really know who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Titans is. I don't know who it's going to be, right? It's going to be Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, Will Levis. But I wouldn't trust a young quarterback or a rookie on the road against that good of a defense. So I think the Steelers can do a good job on defense, because I kind of feel like they kind of own this Titans. So I kind of feel like they match up well with the Titans pretty good. I feel like that their defensive line is gonna like give the Titans offensive line some fits, and I think they can do a good job, like stopping the run and slowing down Derrick Henry, and I feel like the Steelers have a better receiving core because the Titans don't really have any good receivers, so I think they should be able to defend the pass really good. So yeah. So I think this game's going to be close, and I think it's going to be ugly, but I think the Steelers find a way to win this game. But I think they win by getting like a defensive stop at the end. All right, so they're 6-2 right now, looking pretty good on a 5-game winning streak. Next game they have to play versus the Green Bay Packers at home. Now this is another game that can definitely go either way. Now there's a chance that Green Bay wins this game because Green Bay has a better offensive line, and they're good at running, and they're better at running the football. And their offense is pretty solid. I mean, I feel like Green Bay is probably going to take another step back this year because, they don't got no Aaron Rodgers, but the defense is still pretty good. They can definitely give the Steelers offense some fits. But, I mean, I feel like this game right here is going to be close. But if this game's in Green Bay, I might roll with the Packers here. But they don't got Aaron Rodgers, though. But since they don't got no Aaron Rodgers, since Aaron Rodgers is not in Green Bay no more, I'm taking the Steelers to win this game because Green Bay, I just don't think they're going to be very good this year, despite their talent. And without Aaron Rodgers, I don't think they're the same team. I mean, Green Bay has some talent, though, on offense. I mean, Aaron Jones is a stud because they got Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Then they got a good wide receiving core. I mean, they got Christian Watson, Romeo Dubes, Jaden Reed, Luke Muscraft, Tucker Kraft. So they got a pretty good young core there at wide receiver and tight end. But I just kind of really feel like it's going to take – so they're trying to figure it out over there in Green Bay. So I feel like it's probably going to take some time. It's probably going to take a little learning curve for everybody on that team to figure it out. So, yeah. So the Packers offense is pretty young. I mean, they got some young talent on that offense. I mean, their team is pretty young, so they're trying to figure it out over there. So, yeah, so I think and on top of that, I just don't really trust a young quarterback like that on the road, especially against that good of a defense. I think the Steelers defense finds a way to at least like confuse a young quarterback. They can find a way to like slow down the running game. And I feel like their secondary can do a good job, like stopping the pass. Like they can find their matchups against the Packers receiver, like Packers pass catching group. So yeah. And so I think this game right here is going to be very close, but I think the Steelers find a way to pull it out with a victory. So right now, they're 7-2 right now, looking pretty good. So maybe Pittsburgh can there's a chance that Pittsburgh could definitely get into the playoffs for a wild card. So they're looking pretty good at 7-2. So they're on a 6-game winning streak, which that's pretty good. The next game, week 11, they have to play versus the Cleveland Browns on the road. I think they end their winning streak and split with the Browns here, so they'll lose to Cleveland right here. Because Cleveland just has a better quarterback, and they're at home, so yeah. And they can match it well. The Steelers pretty good too. So sense of urgency is going to favor Cleveland because they might be a team that might make the playoffs or they could miss it. So that's pretty much why I think the Browns, win that game. So they're 7-3 right now. So next game, week 12, they have to play on the road against Cincinnati Bengals. I think they drop another loss again in Cincinnati because I just kind of feel like Cincinnati is just a more complete team, and they have the better quarterback, and they're at home as well. So yeah, so that's pretty much why I think Cincinnati wins that game. So they're 7-4 right now on a 2-game losing streak. The next game they have to play at home versus the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, they should easily beat the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals are just going to be one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, their offensive line is not really good. The defense is not really good. So Pittsburgh should have success on both sides of the ball. They should have success here in this game, moving the football against them, and they should do enough defensively. Like containing who's going to be playing quarterback to contain the Cardinals' offense. Like, we don't know who's playing quarterback for the Cardinals. Rather, it's going to be Colt McCoy, Kyler Murray, which I don't know if Kyler Murray's going to be playing. So I think there's a chance that the Steelers should win this game at home easily. And also they're the more complete team. They have the better coaching staff. They're more stable to quarterback position. They're at home. So yeah, that's going to lead to a Steeler win. The next game so actually they're 8-4 right now, which is pretty good. Then week 14, they have to play against the Patriots, and they have to play Thursday night again. Obviously, this is a game right here that can definitely go either way. Now, some people are kind of really picking the Steelers to beat the Patriots because literally, though, now this game kind of reminds me of the throwback Tom Brady versus Ben Roethlisberger. But now they play again this year. This is a different matchup. Now this is two young quarterbacks playing against each other. Mac Jones versus Kenny Pickett, which they got to play on another short week. Now this game right here can definitely go either way, like I said. Now some people are kind of really picking the Steelers to win the game because, Mac Jones, he's bad against pressure and all that. And, defenses, like give Mac Jones some fits. I think there's a chance that Pittsburgh can win this game because their defense can match up well with the Patriots really good. Because I feel like they can definitely give Mac Jones and the Patriots offense a tough time. But at the same time, I think there's a chance Pittsburgh can win this game. But I know it's in Pittsburgh at home, but I think this game is going to be a low-scoring game, though, like it was last time. I think it's going to be closer. Even though it's in Pittsburgh, I don't think it matters, though. I am going to go with but just for that meme, and I'm just going to take the Patriots to win this game because I just kind of really feel like that the Patriots just have a better offensive line. And they have a better, and I just kind of feel like that the Patriots, have kind of really owned the Steelers a little bit, and I just kind of really feel like that the Patriots, the Patriots, they have a good offensive and defensive lines that can, and I feel like that the Patriots, can do a good job, like blocking their front, and I think they can do a good job, like on the defense, like forcing some turnovers, giving Kenny Pickett some issues, and I think that they can find a way in the second. And their secondary is very, very solid. They should be able to like do a good job covering the receivers of the Steelers, which they can because the Steelers they can't really pass the ball really good. So yeah. So I think they can do a good job defending the pass, defending the run, knowing that the Steelers cannot run the ball really good against good defenses. And Belichick, he's good at confusing young quarterbacks. So, yeah, and this could definitely be the Juju revenge game. I kind of really feel like that Mac Jones is going to do enough offensively to throw the ball in through the air against your secondary. So, yeah. I think this game right here is going to be close, and it's going to be a low-scoring game, but it's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be ugly, though. But I think the Patriots find a way to win this game on the road. So right now, they're it's hard to say. They were 7-2, 7-3, 7-4, 8-4. So they're 8-5 right now. So yeah, the next game they have to play versus the Colts on the road. This is a Saturday game. Obviously, I kind of remember last year that Pittsburgh beated them. I kind of remember last year that the Steelers beat them on the road, but they're playing in Indianapolis again. I feel like they're gonna beat Indianapolis again because I feel like the Colts are still. I feel like the Colts are still gonna be one of the worst teams in the league, despite having Anthony Richardson as a quarterback. But I feel like they could be dealing with some learning curves because they have a new quarterback in Anthony Richardson. They got a new coach in Shane Steichen, a new culture. It's a lot of new stuff. Especially, Anthony Richardson, he's raw, and I don't really know how good he's gonna be. I mean, I understand he can learn, he can throw, he can do all these things, but it's gonna take a learning curve and all that. And especially, again, this is the Steelers, playing against a young quarterback who's playing against. This is again a rookie quarterback playing against an elite, that good of a defense of the Steelers. Like I said, I wouldn't trust a rookie quarterback, especially against that good of a defense. Nah, I think the Steelers defense, has success in this game. I think they do a good job, like I think they can do enough. Cause I kind of feel the Colts are overrated. I mean, I kind of feel like their offensive line is a little bit overrated, and I think their defense is a little bit overrated. I mean, it's okay, but not great. But I think the Steelers can do a good job defensively, like stopping the run, confusing the rookie quarterback. And I feel like they can do a good job, stopping the pass because the Colts, receiving core is pretty okay, but not great, but it's young. So, yeah. And I feel like Kenny Pickett can do enough to make some plays to throw the ball through the air against that Colts secondary, which I think is pretty okay, but not great, but it's pretty young. So, yeah. And on top of that, the Steelers, they just got the better quarterback, better coaching staff, and they're just a more complete team. So, yeah. For all of those reasons, that's pretty much why the Steelers win this game. So, as I look at this schedule, so I like to say they're about 9-5 right now. So pretty good. But now week 16, they have to play another Saturday game, which they got to play against the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, they split with the Bengals. They should be able to split with Cincinnati. So I give them a win here because, I kind of feel like that Pittsburgh, pretty much owns the Bengals like they always do. Because last year they've given the Bengals issues though. They always been giving the Bengals issues though. Because last year in that first and the opener, the Steelers have given them issues though. So I think this is a game where I think that Pittsburgh, can their defense can make a play to confuse Joe Burrow. Because I kind of remember Pittsburgh kind of almost rallied the Bengals because they put up 30 against the Bengals and the Bengals still won that game. But I think Pittsburgh's going to win this game at home just to split with them. So, yeah, that's pretty much why. So they're 10-5 right now. But I think the next two games against the Seahawks and Ravens, I think I got them dropping both games. I got them losing to the Seahawks on the road because I got them losing to Seattle. I mean, it can go either way, but if this game's in Pittsburgh, I think I'll roll the Steelers. But given that this game's in Seattle, I'm going with the Seahawks here because I just kind of feel like Seattle's kind of a tough place to play at, and they're going towards West. And I feel like the Seahawks are going to be pretty good this year. They're pretty much underrated. And I just kind of really feel like that, that the Seahawks, are pretty good on both sides of the ball. I mean, they have a good receiving group. I mean, their defense is pretty good. Their secondary is pretty good. I think their defense can find a way to at least confuse Kenny Pickett. Well, I think their pass rush, maybe get some pass rush on him and all that. And then, their secondary is pretty decent. It's young, but it's decent. I think they can do a good job, defending the pass catching group of the Steelers. So, yeah, and I just kind of feel like, Geno Smith, he's going to do enough to throw the ball in the air against your secondary. So, yeah, I feel like he can do that. So, yeah, I think it will be close, but I think the Seahawks win this game. So, they're 10-6 right now. And then week 18, I got them splitting with the Ravens, so they're going to lose the last game here. So, yeah, I just kind of feel like that they're not going to beat the Ravens 2 times in a row. I mean, they're not going to do that. I mean, they did that once before, but it's not going to happen again like it did 2 or 3 years ago. So, yeah, I think they split. I think they split with the Ravens because, again, I just kind of really feel that the Ravens are just a more complete team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. They have a chance to make the playoffs, though. So, yeah, because they're trying to fight to win that division. So, yeah, I got the Ravens, That's pretty much why I think the Ravens win this game. Okay, so as of right now, my computer's frozen. Let's see. So as of right now, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers going 10-7. Now I know that's bold, but if I had them drop into one game, I know that kind of really disappoints a lot of Steelers fans. But I feel like 9 to 10 wins is enough, and maybe that can definitely get them into the playoffs though. But 3-3 in division, 7-5 in the conference, 3-5 away, 7-2 at home. That's pretty decent though. But I kind of feel like that the division is going to be better, and the conference will be. I feel like that division is going to be better in the AFC North, because I feel like this could be in a tough division because with the Ravens and Bengals, because they have to deal with Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. But when you look at the schedule, it's pretty tough because they have to play the 49ers, they play the Browns twice, the Raiders, they play the Ravens twice, they play the Jaguars, they play the Titans, and then they play they play the Patriots, they play the Seahawks. I mean, and the Packers too. So yeah. So looking at the schedule is pretty tough. So this is a tough schedule. Now I know this could definitely. Now Pittsburgh can definitely miss the playoffs though. But I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked if they sneak in the playoffs. But they can make that jump to playoff territory, which I would not be shocked. But I just kind of feel like Mike Tomlin's going to have another winning season because he just keeps it up. with the winning season because he never had a losing season before. Because I think the Steelers, have a chance, making the playoffs though. But I just got them tied for almost last in the division. And I kind of had them tied for third or last in the division for some reason. Like, I felt like the division is tougher, and the conference is pretty tough. It's tough as well. So yeah. So I feel like 10-7 is enough to get in the playoffs, but I don't really know. But at the end of the day, I could definitely change my mind on some of these games. So yeah. And also, I kind of feel like Kenny Pickett is gonna take a leap in year 2. I think George Pickens will as well. And I feel like that the coaching staff is pretty good. And I feel like the offensive line is probably gonna improve a little bit. I think the receiving core is gonna improve. But I just don't have much faith. Despite that, I almost don't really have much faith in their offense, though, a little bit. It's besides the offensive line. But I have faith in their defense. I think the defense should be good than last year. And the secondary also improved as well. I like the addition of Patrick Peterson and Joey Porter. So, yeah, I think the defense should be good again this year, and this should keep them in a lot of games. So, yeah. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below on your thoughts on the Steelers. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Just let me know in the comment section below what you think. Well, it's Emmanuel Jones from Big Fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.